Welcome back to Overground. My name is Luis, and on today's episode, I'm joined by Isaac.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Isaac, do you want to tell people anything about Isaac?
I'm a future educator.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's like the major thing I want to talk about.
Okay, so I have a story for you, but before I get to that story, I need to ask: have you had a chance to visit the new Dutch Bros?
Oh,
because I know you messaged me about it.
I want to talk to you about that, by the way. I checked when they first opened on Wednesday of whenever.
Yeah.
I would drive by for various reasons. Like I'll go to Walmart, maybe with my mom or whatever. I'll be with a friend and like, hey, just drive by Dutch Bros. Every day, every hour that I would have gone, like the line was behind Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
And so I never got Dutch Bros.
Yeah, it was an incredibly long line. I went on the third or fourth day they were open, but we got down. Also, speaking of getting down, just so that we know, you can't get inside the building. So you can get down, but you order out the window and then you just wait there. Yeah. So
is it a COVID thing?
Huh?
Is it a COVID thing or like
no?
Space?
It's just I think the building is literally meant just for making like only the drinks and that's it. Yeah.
That whole building?
Well, it's a small square.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because when we went, there was a lady complaining about the drinks taking too long, and the cashier was like, "Man, we have 7 stations for drinks. We're trying our best." So
7 stations.
Yeah, so I figured 7 stations fit inside there, I guess.
God.
And then, their own room to move around and stuff. But yeah, so we thought we were going to cheat the system by getting down. Mm-hmm. And then we found out you couldn't cheat the system because you can't go inside anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we waited like 45 minutes outside, but like it's fine. And then, and then the line thing, there was one day where I went back and I was like, let me just try out the line. It's actually pretty fast.
Really?
Like, it goes back.
I mean, with 7 stations, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they had that many. Because I was thinking, like, how do they get through this whole line?
Yeah. And then the only thing that scared me was you have 2 drive-through lines, but then it merges. And I always hate merging.
That.
Yeah, because I'm always
McDonald's,
like...
McDonald's does that, dude. I hate that.
Or Chick-fil-A, too.
Chick-fil-A is very highbrow society. They're like, your turn, good sir. Then your turn. McDonald's like, I'm like, oh my poor car hitting the curb.
Yeah, so I was just scared, and but thankfully the lady that was next to me, I guess she was just nice enough to let me go first, so that it made it easier for me. I didn't have to be there like, are you going? Am I going?
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because I saw someone, my girlfriend's friend posted that, because I think Dutch Bros is in Oklahoma. Is that true?
Like started in Oklahoma or just?
No, I'm just like in Oklahoma.
Oh, I don't know.
Because she was in Oklahoma and she posted Dutch Bros.
Okay.
And I was like, there's no way she got Dutch Bros. Anyways, and she says, the caption was like, I'm in love, best thing ever. And I'm like, is it really that good? And so I'm gonna ask you, is it good? Like compared to Starbucks and Dunkin's and Moonbeams and The Grind, where does this put at?
Like, it's good if you like sweet drinks.
It's very sugary.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. But like, I kind of, based off of like stuff that I've been seeing, I kind of feel like people don't go for the sake of like, oh, I need a coffee to get me energy. It's more like, I want dessert in a cup.
Oh,
and so yeah,
okay,
it's
I
more
get
like
that.
that.
I like that. That's your new slogan: dessert in a cup. You really are good at marketing. Yeah,
and I don't know if I got it right, but I think I saw like a video somewhere saying, I don't know if the person was stating like truth or it was just their opinion, but they mentioned something about how like each cup has almost 800 grams of sugar, which I feel like is a lot, right? That's why I'm like, maybe they're just
crazy.
It was just like a figure of speech of like, it feels like it's 800, right? I mean, I hope it's not that much.
Oh my.
Literally. But I also don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how many grams of sugar you're supposed to take like in a day, so I don't know. That's way over, right? 800 grams could never be good.
100%. I'm pretty sure.
But I mean, it also depends on like how you customize a drink, because there's like a bunch of customizations you can.
I'll have an extra 500 grams, please.
So, but it's tasty though. It is tasty. It is good. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, they suck. It's just like, it's definitely gonna be sweet.
Okay, I think 800 is an exaggeration, because like in a can of Coke. And like sodas are notorious for the amount of sugar they have. It's 35 grams of sugar. So 800, I think you may die if you
I like that much. Yeah, so maybe like a figure of speech, but they were right on in the sense of like it is very sugary.
Yeah.
So like you could taste the sugar, but like I like that, so that's why I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna complain.
I like that, but in small portions, because it'll like too much sugar actually upsets my stomach.
Oh, okay.
Like I can do a lot of spice and then regret it later in the toilet.
Yeah.
But sugar, like immediately will like make me, I can't explain it, but it really affects me and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it affects my self-image. I just I just hate the way I look afterwards. No,
right
but getting to the story I was gonna tell you. So I went with a friend I think it was like last week. I went to go. Oh yeah, this past Sunday actually. And in my mind, I was like, because I didn't know at this point the line was already starting to clear up, you know, get more like faster, right? So I was here thinking like it's gonna be a while. So we went, and when you get there, like it has like the line of people that aren't like in the parking lot of Dutch Bros yet, right? And then so we're in that line, and then as we get into like the actual Dutch Bros parking lot, at this point, like you have cars in front of you and behind you, right? So you can't get out.
Right.
You're like you're already stuck. Yeah, you're stuck.
You're committed.
Yeah, yeah. You're here for like your drink, and so everything was going good. Everything was chilling, right? I wasn't, and like my stomach was, everything was fine before we got there, right? And then it gets to, we're not anywhere near next to order, but we're definitely closer than we were before. Like definitely in the sense of like I for sure can't hint that I'm trying to get out, right? Because I feel like if you're in the back of the line, if you put like your reverse, you know, or your car in reverse, someone might be like, hey, it's only, you know, 3 cars behind me. Maybe we could all teamwork and get this guy out. Yeah. But at this point, it's like a good 20 cars behind me. So like you're stuck, right? And so I feel my stomach rumbling a little bit. But at first, I'm like, oh, it's just like a rumble. It's, you know, no big deal. It's fine. It's all good. A couple minutes pass, and it very quickly turns into no more of a rumble. Very like my stomach is like, we need to go.
Oh no!
Right. So my friend's talking to me. I zone him out because at this point I'm just looking to see like, is it possible for us to get out anywhere? And I'm not gonna drive off the curb and ruin their new grass because it's new grass, you know. So I was just like, is there anything I can do? And then you ever like have like that moment where like you feel like it's coming, like you feel like your stomach's like, we're going here and now, right?
Too many times, and I hate it.
So I hit that point, and I was like, I can hold it. It's fine. I'll be fine. And then it hit like a second time. I'm like, I'm not going to be fine. Oh. So I cut my friend off, and I was like, look, here's what we're doing. I'm getting off this car. Nice. And there's a Peter Piper's like right there. I'm like, I'm walking to that Peter Piper's. Smart. You're getting into the driver's seat, and you're taking control of this car for the rest of the time that we're in this drive-through. And he thought I was kidding. And he's like, we're not doing that. I'm like, no, we're doing that because I have no other option. Yeah. And he's like, dude, you could just wait. And I was like, I can't wait. Actually, I really can't. And thankfully, my stomach was like on my side, and it started grumbling real loud so he could hear it. Nice. And so I stayed silent. I'm like, just listen. And he could very much hear it. And he's like, oh, so like you need to go. And I was like, yeah, no, I need to. I'm going. And so then I was like, I'm gonna get off here. And I just told him what I was going to order, whatever. And then the next thing that became an issue was I thought he was going to at least get off the car and come around.
No. Did he do a little...
He jumped over, which is like, it doesn't bother me about him doing that.
This is your car, right?
Yeah. No, but that doesn't... What got to me was like, what if people think like, oh, the driver's getting off and he's walking away. And there's just a car here, right? Because they don't see him crossing over. Yeah. Right? They just see me getting off and literally just walking through the grass. I'm walking through the grass, through the parking lot, through the street, and then into the Peter Piper's parking lot, so I can take care of my business, right? And so that's why when I saw him doing it, I was like, I don't want people to be like honking or freaking out, thinking like, oh great, now we're not gonna move because this guy just left his car. But yeah, it had nothing to do with like, oh no, you messed up the inside of it. Like, it was nothing like that. It was just more of like, I want people to see there's still gonna be someone driving this car. Yeah. So yeah, I left Peter Piper's, and then my next thing was like, can you even use a Peter Piper's restroom is like that if you're not even a customer, right? So my next thing was like, you have to play it cool. Just pretend you're here, pretend you're from here, pretend you're from a party.
My family's here.
Yeah. Just like go say hi to some people real quick and then turn back around. But I played it cool, ran straight to the restroom, took care of business for a good while. And then I'm still thinking that the Dutch Bros line is like not that better yet, right? So I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like I'm gonna find my friends at the line and it'll be okay. Turns out no, it's already like they're already at the point where like they're real good at clearing out the line. So he had been waiting in the Peter Piper parking lot for like a while. Oh. Yeah, he was like, you left, and the guy came to take our order, and a couple minutes later we got the drinks and I was done. He's like, so I just been parked here waiting, and I was like, oh, I wasn't feeling guilty because I thought you were waiting in line. Yeah, the whole time we just parked there.
Take your time in the restroom.
Well, it wasn't choice. True. It wasn't. Yeah, no. Every single time I thought I was done, my stomach was like, no.
It was that bad.
Yeah, and I don't even know what caused it. Because that day I had eaten maybe like one meal. I had chicken strips.
Maybe it was bad meat. From where?
Cane's. Oh, Cane's wouldn't do me like that.
Nah, just kidding. I never had issues with Cane's.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then I mean, like, I know I'm lactose intolerant, but I didn't have the drink yet. So I don't know what it was.
That just happens sometimes. It happens to me. Like I wouldn't. Well, first of all, I just want to say this real quick.
Okay.
When it's that bad, and I've had those, I have them quite often actually. And I find it very healthy because it's very cleansing.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too.
Right?
Like, look, I'm starting fresh. Like
You're detoxing.
Yeah, intestines are clear.
Yep.
This drink is gonna be the first thing that enters my body, and
Yep.
we're good. Yeah.
I like to give myself a little extra time after finishing.
Okay.
So like I've done my business. I'm cleaned up and ready to go, but I don't get up from the seat.
Yeah.
I just sit there,
Yeah.
and then sometimes like, oh, there it is, and then I go a little bit more, and that's it. But I honestly give myself a little bit extra time
Yeah.
because it's exhausting. It
It is-
really is.
yeah,
It
it's
could
very-
be.
yeah.
You know what I've heard, by the way, real quick. Sorry.
No.
Is and I don't know who said that. I think it was my girlfriend. I can't remember, but that it never crossed my mind to like think this way, and you're supposed to apparently that after you go diarrhea, viewer discretion advised. After you go diarrhea, you're supposed to drink water.
Oh, because of dehydration.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Makes sense, yeah.
So one time it was one of those bad days, and I passed. Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't pass out, but yeah, I didn't know that. So every time I go restroom, I get a little sip of water,
Yeah.
even if it's not diarrhea. I mean, I'll wash my hands first. People watching, always wash your hands. Yeah, but that sucks. You know what? I don't know if in that moment you experienced this. This phrasing is not very polite to say in certain context, but turtling. Have you ever heard of that term? Turtling? No?
I don't think so.
I don't want to get too descriptive because this is gross. Personally, for me, I don't mind talking about it, but for your poor viewers, eating or something like that, it's when you have to go restroom really bad. Number 2.
Okay.
And turtling, the phrase comes from like the fact that it pops out and goes back in. So like you know how turtles do that with their shell? They go like this.
Yeah.
Well, it's the other thing that's turtling. So like, oh my goodness, I'm turtling. Someone help me. I've had that, Luis, and it's bad.
That was a thing.
It's bad. Like and I'll be in the car and I'm like, I can't do this. So I'll go like I'll pick up my body and then it'll help. I'm like, oh my god. So I sit back down and then boom, and it'll just boom hit me. And I'm like, please. I hate those moments, man. But I've gotten real good at timing it. So I know like, okay, I have coffee. I'll give myself. I depending on the context. Let's talk about coffee real quick, just for a little bit. Sorry. Depending on the context, I'm gonna ask you this too, because I'm just curious. When I'm drinking coffee alone in the mornings, I love to do that. I love it. Like I don't care what I'm doing in the mornings. I love mornings by myself.
Okay.
My favorite thing in the world. I'm a morning person. I love doing all my work in the mornings, like a college work. I love to do in the mornings. I hate doing it at nights. I'll have to, but I have to.
Yeah.
But I'll drink a cup of coffee, 10 ounces, in the span of an hour and a half to 2 hours to drink the whole thing. I'll take like little sips here and there, and by the time I finish, it's like super cold already.
Yeah.
But I'll give my time. Like, okay, I'm gonna drink this for an hour and a half, and then give myself 30 minutes, and then I know I'm gonna have to go restroom, and so I'll go restroom. But then if I'm drinking coffee with friends, well, that's not true. If I'm drinking coffee with friends, like one time we went to Moonbeams recently.
Oh, yeah.
It was not that time when I saw you.
Okay.
It was good. It was. I love seeing people that I know. I'm like, Luis. I drank coffee. I drank that one coffee for 2 hours because we were playing board games the whole time. But I am not a fast coffee drinker. My dad was. Like he would get a drink like that, and in 20 minutes it was gone. I'm like, you're not enjoying the drink, are you? What about you? What do you do when it comes to coffee?
No, I mean the only time it was like last me long is I forget I have it. But if not,
Luis.
if not, I'll finish that thing real quick. Or especially like you ever been to Reserva?
Not yet.
No. Okay, like they have like some seasonal ones that come out sometimes, and some of them really hit. So I think there was one that was like apple butter or something. I
Oh,
think,
that
like an
sounds
apple.
so good already.
Yeah, it was good. So
That
the very
sounds
first
so
time I
good.
ordered it, I almost chugged that thing.
Oh, that
I was
sounds
like,
so
this is-
good.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't savor the flavor. I'm just more like
I want that now, Luis.
Yeah.
Let's go get some.
I was there a while ago actually, and I was like that one. I was doing stuff on my laptop, and I had to drink there, but like the table was like smaller than how I was sitting. Like in the sense of like, okay, if I'm sitting here and I have the laptop with me, the table's short, so like whatever's on the table is covered because my laptop is taller, you know?
Yeah.
And so I had like the coffee there on the table, and because I couldn't see it, I forgot I had it there. So that's the only time that I was like, oh, it's watering down because I don't see it. But if I have it with me, or like if I'm in the car and it's like in the cup holder with me, I'll just like drink it real fast.
That sounds really good. Apple butter. Like those two words in a coffee. I love Applewood smoked latte from The Grind. I'm not sure if they even have that drink. I haven't been in The Grind in forever, but I love that drink. It tastes like fireworks. I loved it. I heard Reserva was kind of expensive though. The coffee, or is it reasonable? Like at like basic prices.
I think it's reasonable.
Because Moonbeans, I was surprised because Moonbeans changed locations. I remember they were right here, and then they went over here, right across the street.
And the Reserva one right there.
Yeah, exactly. Why their prices were pretty reasonable. Like when we go, I'll buy my girlfriend and I a drink. It's like $12-13, which is still kind of expensive in my opinion. Because Dunkin'. Let's talk about Dunkin's, dude. Let's talk about Dunkin's. Like I like Dunkin's in the sense that it's coffee. Like you can't go wrong. It's coffee.
Yeah. But the only thing with Dunkin'
$3.
is like you're like testing. You never know how it's gonna come out.
True.
Though. That's the only thing about Dunkin'. Like it is. I'll get like a medium for like what $3-4.
Yes.
Which is like a steal.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also like, is it gonna come out like a sugary drink? Is it gonna come out like coffee, or is it gonna come out like?
Well, I play it safe. Unlike my girlfriend, I get like one sugar, or I get no sugar. Like I'll just get the iced coffee, whatever, just like that. And so it always tastes the same for me. But for her, she'll like, I'll have 6 sugars. I'm like, 6 sugars? What's going on here? 4 pounds of cream.
Well, I just get like a latte, and so that's why I just never know.
Oh yeah, that is risky, especially. I want to badmouth Dunkin'.
No, we're still good with Dunkin'. It's a little game. If you're feeling a little risky that day, you go to Dunkin'.
It'd be nice if they I forgot that word.
Sponsor.
It'll be nice if they sponsor you.
Dunkin', please.
Yes. I feel like Dunkin' is the kind of that they have the kind of marketing that would do that.
Yeah, we'll have your cups and your coffee.
Yes.
Episode. There's I think America's Got Talent used to do that.
Oh yeah,
they used to be sponsored by Dunkin'.
Yeah,
so, like all their cups.
They'll come on the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dunkin', please. We're right here.
I like that.
No, but yeah, that's the only thing about. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna check my audio because apparently I stopped. You just entertain the masses.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a future educator. I graduate in the spring, thank God. Even though my education's not done, I'm gonna keep going. Go for my master's, go for my doctorates. But the truth is, and I kind of learned this, it's like both ways. As an educator and as a learner, is that as an educator, you like know little to nothing. And someone quoted it, I forgot, it was a real famous guy who quoted it. Like, the more I learn, the less I know. Something like that. Which is true. Because the more you know about something, the less you know of it. The more you know how crazy massive the universe is and all the different things that we are barely scratching and even haven't imagined yet, you know nothing. And the second thing is that you'll never stop learning. I definitely learned that. But in this kind of digital age, they just have all these different modalities to learn. I mean, I have an iPad and a phone right here. I can just go on YouTube and learn how to juggle in however long it takes me because I'm not that coordinated with my hands, which is why I never play basketball. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that if you just backtrack 10, 15 years ago when our parents were in college, or 20 years ago, depending how old your parents are, they're like, oh yeah, we had to go to the library, study for 5 hours. And I'm thinking like, oh, I just study for 1 hour on my laptop because that's it. Like I don't have to do any research in terms of like what I have to find in the books and all that stuff. I can just Google it and boom, it's right there. But yeah, coffee really helps with learning.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so thanks for doing that. I don't know what happened. Anyway, but now that you brought up you brought up something. Oh, about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Would you or would you not get like a chip planted into your brain
that is a good question. That is a great question.
Has like all the knowledge in the world. Yeah. You basically have Google.
Yeah.
Or any internet in your brain.
Yeah. Any search engine.
That's what I don't get though. Like, do you just think like, oh, what's the lifespan of like a panda? And your mind just knows? Or is there like a loading process? Or do you feel
I think it depends on what what kind of chip we're talking about. Like if it's a chip that's somehow integrated into your brain, which is terrifying but awesome. I feel like that information somehow would be immediately downloaded into your consciousness. Like if you had already known that.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me what's 2 + 2, I'll say 4 because I know that.
Yeah.
But if you ask me something that I didn't know, but then that plant downloaded that information to be like, oh yeah, it's that. Like, oh, it's nuclear fission. Like, I don't know what that is, but apparently that's what it is. That's terrifying. It would like integrate into your brain. On the other hand, what I kind of look forward to, but it's also very terrifying. It's very scary. The more we get digital, the scarier it gets, to be honest. But it's like so helpful and useful. Is if it's not integrated into your brain, like where it's not like attached to it, but similar to like Google Glasses.
Mm-hmm.
because I know Elon Musk talk about it, like getting contact lenses or something like that. Like, you know, virtual reality. Oh, it's called the augmented reality.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Augmented reality, because it's not virtual, but it's not. It's just regular reality, but augmented with whatever pop-up ads and stuff. That is kind of cool, but again, very scary, because then you can get your data sold, and then you'll just have pop-up ads, and then you'll create this consumerist. I'm getting a little crazy here. You create this consumerist society, because I mean, we kind of are already. Be honest, we're kind of already a consumerist society where all we do is consume content, consume of materials. We do that a lot, but if we get to that point, who knows? We'll end up with WALL-E, which, you know, to some people they don't mind. I mean, to be honest, if I was like in a floating chair like that and just eating all day, I'm not sure if I would or wouldn't mind that.
I'd be bothered by the food, because they only live off of like blended food, right?
Yeah, that I'd be bothered by. Yeah, that I could.
Like,
I have too much of a high taste.
Yeah, and also I think that's bad for your teeth if you're just slurping on a straw the whole time. Yeah,
they'll have to like.
Well, I wouldn't want that. Yeah,
no, yeah, that's worse.
At that point, just give me the actual food.
But in terms of that, for technology, it'd be awesome, I think, but super risky. Like if there's no parameters set, super dangerous. But that happens with everything. Like with everything that's introduced into human civilization, if there's no parameters, which there rarely is ever parameters, it's catastrophic. Like with when, you know, it's crazy, because when we grew up, social media wasn't as prevalent. In fact, I don't think it was prevalent at all when I was in elementary / you elementary. Yeah. Right? It, like, non-existent. Yeah. And then junior high school, it started like surfacing. And there was no parameter set. Yeah. So we had, I won't get too crazy because how bad it was, but we had like 30-year-olds talking to 15-year-olds. And now it's still the same, obviously, but it's different now because we're made more aware of that stuff. Yeah. But back then, there was no parameters. So social media was just catastrophic. We had all these crazy things happening, people posting other people. I don't know, it's crazy. There has to be parameters. I wish we could as people set parameters that just were logistically and morally, ethically sound and rational, and say, okay, we'll implement this, but we won't kill each other for it or go crazy. But that's not gonna happen. But I love the idea. I love it.
I appreciate your very profound and mature response. On the totally other side of the spectrum, I was gonna say that I'd be cool with a little chip that would just vibrate your brain as it was like loading. Like that way, you know, like, all right, the answer's coming in a couple of seconds. It's just like it's letting you know, like, we're thinking.
Be prepared.
That way you would know. I'd be cool with that.
That would be cool.
I mean, that'd be like probably one of that would sell for me. Like, they're like, hey, we have a way of feeling that it's loading. I'd be all right. I'm cool.
So you're not like surprised by it.
Like, oh, suddenly I know.
You're preparing for it.
Yeah, it's like oh, the vibrations are slowing down. I mean, the answer's almost here. I'm gonna be able to answer you like in 5 more seconds.
So then that's kind of like the line that you won't cross if it doesn't do that.
No. No, I mean, if it doesn't do that, that's fine.
You still want it in your brain?
Well, I mean, with the way you described it, yeah, I'll be okay with it. But I'm just saying it'd be cool. We had like little features.
It would be cool.
Like side little features.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I'm very big on making things faster, easier. I don't see no problem with that.
Yeah.
Like, I know older generations will be like, oh, you just Google everything. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Like, imagine as a teacher in the 21st century where you're teaching your students and you say a word wrong or you define a word wrong or not as correct as it should be defined as, and one of the students has a laptop, access to the internet, they Google it, teacher, you're wrong. It'd be just like that in seconds, and you are wrong, and obviously that's a different story. But it's just crazy to think that we have access to that kind of information. I love it. Yeah. But there was something I lost it. It was right there. I'm reeling it back in. It was with the chips. It was with the chips, I promise you.
The brain chips.
And the brain chips, yeah. It was with the brain chips. Oh, you know, I've also, you know what I actually would like? But I hear like so many bad things about it. Like virtual phones. What do you think about that? Like it'll be a chip implant on your wrist or something like that. And it'll be a virtual phone that you'll have like right here. Like, you see the movies. How they do that. What do you think of that?
I don't know. For some reason, any like chips anywhere other than the brain, for some reason, scare me.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like the brain is the scariest part to put a chip in.
Because I've seen, I don't know how true it is, but apparently, like, there's even some like door locks and stuff that now you can get a chip and like you unlock your door by just like scanning your wrist.
I don't know if that's true, believe though. That. I believe that.
So but maybe that scares me because like you're getting a whole chip just to unlock a door. Like that's it. I mean, maybe if you could do more, then be like, yeah, I'm risking more, but I have like a higher reward.
Well, what if it's a
for that
virtual
risk.
phone? Like you don't have to carry anything physical anymore. Everything is just right here. You're like
But you're
this.
talking about like instant. Oh, like for calling and stuff. Yeah,
Well, for everything, calling, searching, sending money. I go like this, like that, literally like that, and it was cash app you $200 for your cameras.
No.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't want. I went somewhere. I'll go back.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the entire phone, then I think I'd be okay. I thought you meant just like phone calls, and I was gonna say in that sense, no. 'Cause I barely do phone
I
calls.
just have a
anyway.
Bluetooth little thing right there.
Yeah, which is actually crazy that we also did have a moment of having Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Now it's like, nah, no one needs those now. Just
Yeah, that's crazy. Not a lot of people use those
Yeah.
anymore. And then at the time they came out, it was like crazy. Like, oh my goodness, you don't have to have a phone.
wait, no, I take that back. No, we had that, got rid of it, and then
AirPods
we're
Pro.
back to it because of like wireless headphones.
Yeah,
are back.
AirPods
Yeah.
Pro, Beats
Yeah.
Max, whatever.
So maybe we went backwards.
You know, that kind of is a trend in human
we-
history.
Yeah.
We kind of go back.
No.
Yeah, not again. We need more examples of this, but I can't think of any, so I guess we'll just scratch it.
Yeah. No, that's okay. But I was gonna ask you, since you had brought up about the whole teacher thing,
Oh yeah.
and then you mentioned that you want to teach at the college level.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna be telling your students to call you by like your last name? Are they gonna be able to call you by your first name? Are they gonna call you like
At the college level or like the high school level?
college level?
College level?
No, because I know high school. I mean, yeah, you can make your own rules, but it's more expected to be like you call them.
Yeah, there is. College is so much more
Yeah,
freedom.
college they're just like, hey, just tell me, hey.
Exactly.
And
So
then
much
we're
more
good.
freedom and so much more pay.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, real quick, high school, I think you're required to teach 5 to 7 classes.
Yeah.
5 to 7 classes, something like that. You have to, depending on the school district you go to. 5 to 7. Some have 7, which is crazy. And that doesn't include other stuff.
Yeah.
And you get paid $50,000, whatever. At college, like I'll use UChargeV as an example, you're required for sure, like you have to at least teach 3 or 4 classes, but you're getting paid like close to $100,000.
Yeah.
And this is an English professor.
Yeah.
If you're a business professor, you make more money. If you're like a nursing program professor or whatever, you make way more money. But you know, I don't think I've ever had that kind of like, oh, you have to call me this, or you have to call me by my first name or last name, or you have to call me doctor. Because I mean, when you have a doctorate, you can
Yeah.
be called, you know, Dr. Martinez or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like people who get that and want that is maybe self-affirmation. I don't know. I can't really speak for them, but for me, that doctorates is for me.
Yeah.
And so I really don't. I really wouldn't mind if you call me or don't call me doctor. I, for one, as a student, call all my preferred. Like I'll look at the syllabus just to make sure, because I find it very formal and meaningful and kind and nice and considerate
Yeah.
to look up the syllabus. And when I email them, say, "Hi, Dr. Cummins," one of my professors. "Hi, Dr. Villarreal." Right? I call them doctor if that's
Yeah.
what they are, and they never ask me to. I just call it. I gave a real quick story because it's really bad. I'm like, I thought to myself, why would you say this? And it's not their fault. Some young adults don't really have experience or the common sense of professionalism. A lot of the times because they don't work at a professional environments, so they don't really know what it means to email someone professionally or communicate professionally. So again, like I'm always like, "Dear Dr. Cummins," right? And I'm not trying to like raise my collar. That's just how I think it should be done. My friend was emailing his professor. This was back when he was in college. He graduated already. He's an accountant. It's Jared, yeah.
We're all over. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's another one.
I exposed. Nah, yeah, I don't think he watches the podcast. You know, I want to link it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to link the timestamp where I mention his name, Jared, and then go into the story. The professor was some grade mix up, and Jared was kind of. Oh, I said his name again.
It's over.
Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. Your career, you're fired. No, he messaged the professor about the grade mix-up, saying, "Why did I get this grade when you said this?" And the professor said, "I didn't say this. I said that." He responds, and just like one sentence, it's just semantics. Period. Like I'm like, and it's like do you want to fail? Like imagine telling a professor that's just semantics. Like like you're just saying what I'm saying. Like you're stupid. You're just saying what I'm saying. Like that's what that context of that sentence is. And I'm thinking like, why would you say that, dude? I don't know what else happened. I forgot the rest of the story. It just blew my mind when he said that. I don't know. But I don't really care to be called by my first or last name. I think the only reason why I would care not to be called my first name because I don't want it to be a little too personal. Like I want to make sure there's still a bit of a boundary, because I mean, again, you have a lot more freedom, but you also don't have, like, you can't have relationships with students, obviously. Yeah. It's very dangerous ethically, morally, and I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't want to be called my first name. Other than that, you call me Mr. Martinez, Mr. Marty, it wouldn't matter to me. Yeah. Dr. Martinez does have a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it does.
But I wouldn't mind.
I think I only had one professor that was the type to be like, yeah, you can just call me by my first name. Everyone else was like, they wouldn't tell you like you have to call me doctor, but they would just say like some form of it. So either doctor or professor, or like Spanish, I think it's like profe. Some of them where you wouldn't say like you could just call us that. Right. Like some variation of those titles.
Yeah.
And then there's just one that was like, just call me by my first name, or just raise your hand and let me know like you need something. So
I get it.
Yeah.
I get both views. And I just get both views. I'm not like, oh, you're wrong and then this one's right. I don't fall into that either or fallacy. Thank you very much. There's always more. There's always more than yeah. I did have a question for you.
Okay.
This is premeditated.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of discussed it before the show. I don't know the question, but we discussed asking me a question. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked a lot. I feel like we had a whole mini podcast before the podcast. I saw a video. I've seen videos like this. Social experiments. Some as a joke. I love those. Those. Some as like legitimate social experiments. First off, real quick, plug. Okay, no, I'm not gonna. There's this YouTuber. His name is Andrew Callaghan. I hope I got that name right. His YouTube channel is called like Channel 5 News with Andrew Callaghan, something like that. He does a lot of that kind of interviews where he just goes straight to the people. Like he'll go to these crazy conventions, like Alien Convention or Sneakers Convention, and then there's some wild people. But I love those kind of videos. Anyways, there's these videos going around where they would ask them, what do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And then they'll say, well, a number. And then they'll go to some random person. They'll have obviously with permission and consent, taking a picture of the person, and then go to some other person, usually the opposite sex, and say, what do you rate this person? And it's just fun seeing, like, sometimes they're like spot on. Like the guy will say, I'm a 4.5, and then the girl will go, yeah, that's a 4.5. I'm like, how? But what would you rate yourself?
I was like, no.
I'm curious. I want to know. I'll go next. And then we'll have the comments. No, just
the comments will be on for this video. Actually, all the other ones are off. This one will be off. No, they'll be on. I've never turned them off. I don't know, because there's two sides. There's like the side of me that wants to be humble, and there's the egotistical side, and there's also like the realistical side. But I don't want to be realistic.
Go realistic. It's a safe space.
I don't know what I would rate myself. You talking about just terms of like looks?
Nope.
Or just as an overall, like as
you're gonna average everything in, like your looks, your personality, your skills, your flaws. I mean, I know it's a big question, but I'd hope you kind of like reflect and know what kind of your strengths and weaknesses are.
I think I'm gonna say, like, if I'm including like everything, I think I'm gonna say, I guess, like a 7.
Wow,
maybe.
That's good. And you know, I like that question because if you give yourself a 10, then you're kind of like, right? Like, you're egotistical, you're narcissist. But if you give yourself a 7, an 8, you think, yeah, right, bro, you're like a 4. But at the same time, you're like, this guy has confidence in himself, and confidence really does bump you up by a point. So you're really a 6. But I'm kidding, Luis. No, I'm kidding. I like that number you gave yourself.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why or not?
I just feel like I guess like all this stuff balances out, kind of. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm trying to keep looks out of it as much as possible when I'm going more like in personality and behaviors.
Yeah, that's smart.
Okay. Yeah, behaviors or habits and stuff like that. So like I know for sure I don't know if I come off as sarcastic, but I know in my own mind there's many moments where I want to be sarcastic, and I think I just hold back because it's like, no, it's gonna hurt the person's feelings, so don't do it. But so I'm taking that into account of like, I'm probably not that sarcastic on the outside, but at least in my mental, I am. So if I'm being realistic, that's gonna dock me points. Cause
Yeah.
like, there's so many times where I wish I could be like sarcastic or give you like a smart answer,
Mm-hmm.
just because I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like that's so dumb. Why would you?" But obviously, I'm not gonna tell that to a person and be like,
Yeah.
"Dude, you're an idiot." I'm not gonna do that. But in here, I'm like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
Wow, you know. So
Interesting.
I'm taking that into consideration of like, how do I perform on the outside, and then also what's going on in the mental.
Yeah, I'm surprised you opened up about that.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
I think it's also now that you brought that up, it's like something that I've been thinking about recently because there's many moments of like, okay, okay, this one's me exposing myself, so
Yeah, transparency.
we're just gonna hope no one goes this far into the video that way. Like,
Yeah. We'll edit this part out.
No, but like, okay, like in text, I do this thing where like I'll talk to you in broken English and in like what's correct, or I don't like
Standard English?
yeah, I
Standardized
guess,
English?
yeah. And so if I'm discussing something with you like on a serious note, then like I use correct grammar on everything.
Right.
Like correct your, correct there, correct what is it? No, not contradictions. Like when you, what is it called? Like when you, like the word can't. That's like when you merge two words, like cannot, can't.
You put me on the spot. I'm an English major too. Can you believe that? Now I can't think of that word.
It's something with the J.
No, because conjunctions
Oh, okay,
is
that's something different.
There's something different. Yeah.
It's not contradiction because that's but well, you know those type of words.
Yeah. It's gonna upset me that I don't know. Conjugations? No, that's not.
No.
That one.
Yeah, I don't know then. Contractions.
Con-
Contractions. There we
Yes,
go.
I love it that you got it before I Googled it. Like I love it. Whew, we were close because you're saying like contraption, and I couldn't like stop thinking of contraptions. And I see now I forgot the word again.
Contractions.
Contractions.
Which is like
wait,
the
contractions?
Is it? I don't know.
I can't think. When you say contraction, I think of
I'm thinking of like the birth thing also.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
what
but it does
No, but
feel-
I'm pretty sure it's contractions. Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna, yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, so those. So I use all of those correctly when I'm like, okay, I'm discussing something that like it's serious,
Mm-hmm.
right? But whenever it's nothing serious, I'll use broken English.
Right.
Partially because I'm like, oh, it's casual conversation, so like I'm just gonna talk broken. And there's other times where like I want to say something up front, but I'm like, that's gonna be too mean.
Right.
So I'll put it in broken English. That way people think it comes off as joking. But on my end, it's just me getting out of my system. Because it's like, I want to say this to you, but I know I can't.
You dilute
So
it.
I'll be like, I'm kidding, and use broken English. And at least I get the satisfaction of like, okay, it's out of my system.
Yeah. It's off your chest.
Yeah.
Your shoulders.
Yeah. So that now people know if I text in broken English, you don't know if I'm casually talking to you, if I'm joking around with you, or I'm trying to get something off my chest, but I just don't want to be mean. Now you never know. Because it
I
could
like
go
it.
one either of
I like the
those
mystery.
three. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. It's mysterious. You're diluting the truth with the lies.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that I'm like, I know that's not good, so that's probably gonna bring me down on scale. But at the same time, like I know I'll help people, so that goes back.
You're there for them.
Yeah. So I feel like a 7 is kind of like not in the middle, but it balances out.
I was just about to say balance it out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I want to go back to that word balancing, but later, if we have the time. I don't want to take too much
No,
time.
you're good.
I like transparency. I think as I got older, that's kind of my goal was to be more transparent. But first, before you can be transparent, you have to be reflective because like you gotta know yourself.
Yeah.
So I like that. But a 7? No, I'm kidding. No, I would probably give myself like a 6, between a 5 or 6. I think I'm an average looking guy. And for me, and this is just my way of thinking. I don't know how socially or psychologically this is true, but I've always believed that attraction first happens with physical appearances. Like if you ever talk to someone, you're like, oh, hey, I like you, or hey, can we go on a date? You approach them first because you found them physically attractive. I think it's rare when you approach someone first because you like their personality.
Well, you never spoke to them.
So like how would you know the personality if you've never unless you're like, oh yeah, we grew up with each other since kindergarten, and that's a little different, but that's rare cases. But I feel like most of the time it's you're approached physically, because of the looks.
I think it's ultra rare for someone to be like, the person's a little bit uggos, but maybe the personality makes up, so let me go give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean it's a kind of like a horrible thing to say, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
But then the good thing is that it's so subjective. People have different outlooks on it and preferences. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is that well, not so much now. Back then a little bit, yeah. Back then, really bad was this social image or this image that people had to be like women and men. It's not bad anymore. Like I'll say, hey, love yourself, love your body. I'm like, yes, love your body, but also be healthy. like do what you want, but be healthy. I guess me. Like I've never cared to look good, like physically. Like I mean, I can't do anything about this unless I do surgery. Like there's nothing I can do. But I just want to be healthy. Like, you know, my main goal is like I just want to be able to, when my kid is born, well, not born, but when my kid is growing, they are participating in sports if they want to. Yeah. I want to be there. I want to play with them. I want to train with them. I want to help them. I mean, I can't do that if I can't go up the stairs without, huffing and puffing. That's my only goal. But if you don't plan to have children, then, which is actually, Luis, I have a lot of coworkers. And they're younger because it's, where I work, it's just more younger people, like 18, 19. Is that young? That's young, right?
No, that's young. Yeah.
18, 19, 20. They're like, yeah, I'm never having kids. I'm like, wait, what? Like when I was your age, I'm like, I'm ready to have 4. I mean, not like financially or emotionally or mentally, but more of like baby fever. Yeah. But I wanted to have kids. I still do. Yeah. But like them, they are like, no, I don't have kids. So I'm scared. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Like, what's gonna happen in 10 years? Like, no one's having children anymore.
I think a lot of it has to do with
inflation.
No.
No. Diaper inflation.
No, it's just. I mean, it's definitely tougher now than it was back then. But also like, I think since a lot of stuff has been going on, it's more of like, I definitely don't know what type of world I'm bringing my kids in.
True.
Right? Because, like, I mean, like, I know stuff happened back then, but recently it feels like more unpredictable stuff has been coming. So now it's like, oh, I might have a kid and on his 5th birthday, we might get hit by, like, a UFO, and suddenly we're taken over by aliens. And it's like, sorry, kid. I was hoping you can have a long life. I gave you 5 years, and now we don't know where we're going. So
I should have never brought you in.
No, not like that. No, but yeah, so it's just more unpredictable. And then, well, yeah, like having, like, I mean, I know for, like, example, in my case, I do have what's considered like an adult job already, right? Like, it's like, already
$30,000 a year. Nah, okay, he makes more. He makes way more.
No kidding, no, but I definitely know, like, even though it's an adult job, it's not enough to help me raise a family.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, back then it was like, I don't know, like, the numbers, but I kind of assume with this same job back then, it'd be enough to. Well, yeah, because I mean, if you look at the families from like back then, how they are now, a lot of them are like, oh, I had 6, 7 siblings, and now I'm like, could you even have 2?
Can you even support yourself?
Yeah, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's like another thing that is just like, it is harder.
There is a lot more concerns. I give you that for sure, and I like how what we were talking about, like save her, which I didn't know we were talking about at first, and they're like, oh, he's talking about the planet, which is so true because obviously like 20 years ago, fast forward to now. Everything is, well, more known, more available. People are like, there's a movie that came out on Netflix, Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah,
was that title?
Yeah, Don't Look Up. Yeah.
That was a scary reality, but I love that movie. Anyways, no, but you're right on the dot, dude. Because like that amount of money sounds a lot, especially to maybe like early 20s. Like, wow, $30,000 a year. I'm getting like a 2,000 from, or 1,000 from my job, full-time job. 30,000 a year, which is still, this is why it's good. Like if you actually want to get like an accounting degree, 30,000 is a great for people like that. But it really isn't really financially stable to support a family. Yeah. And I know from experience, not from my experience, but from family members who make close to like $40,000 dual income, and it's no. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy what you think is like houses. I mean, it's a lot. I don't want to get into it, but don't have kids, I guess. No.
And then the other thing I was thinking was also like, because we had those years where we were just stuck at home, so I feel like a lot of people couldn't experience life as much. And I think that now we're starting to get back into living life. Yeah. A lot of people are like, okay, now I need to make up for all this stuff I missed out on. So now you're in the mindset of like, I don't want to have the responsibility of raising someone. I want to try to experience life more, and then be like, okay, now I can give up my life for my kids. Yeah. Because I mean, once you have a kid, it's like your whole time is just for them, which is
especially
fine.
Especially in the younger years.
Yeah. Which is like fine, right? Obviously, but it's just like, but you have to be okay with giving yourself up and be like, okay, all my time is going to go to them. Yeah. And then like if they're in elementary, whatever, then you have oh, I gotta take them to school, and then after that they're like in programs or
Yeah.
clubs or sports, and now it's like rush home to do this, and then take them back to that, and then rush home getting ready for bed, and then start all over the next day, and then so you don't have time to be like, I feel like going to Colorado this weekend. It's
Can't.
like, no, dude, you have a 4-year-old who has responsibilities.
Yeah.
You got to be there for it because obviously they can't do it.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. You know, it's crazy because when COVID happened, I gotta be honest, I didn't think it was such a big deal. Like I really couldn't see what the big deal was about COVID. And then looking back at it now, and then hearing other people's struggles. Because again, I love being alone. Not forever. I can never do that. I need social interactions here and there. But I love my mornings alone. Like I can wake up at 8 and then spend the next 4 hours drinking the same cup of coffee, doing the same thing, and then eat, nap. I don't know. Anyways, like this is crazy to think about what COVID actually affected, and that's one of them that I never even thought was that people missed out a lot, and they're trying to make up for the years, 2.5 years, almost 3 years that they lost.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think that, and very sad.
Yeah.
See, I would have never thought that. I would have thought that the pandemic was something like, okay, just stay at home, wear masks if you do have to go out. But to think that you weren't. I mean, obviously you can't travel because then there were such strict restrictions.
Yeah.
Man, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So crazy. And I think it's a lot of the times. I told this to someone. Who was it? I told this? Oh yes, my friend's younger brother. At the time he was 15. At the time he was 15 when I said this to him. I said, "Have you gone through an existential crisis yet?" And he goes, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah. If you go through existential crisis younger, you'll reap the benefits earlier." And it's weird to say that, but I think I had my first. I want to ask you this too. I had my first existential crisis when I was, and I don't mean it to be. I don't want that term to be watered down in the sense that, oh, you just have like it's not even that big of a deal. Like a legitimate existential crisis where like you're contemplating life, you have an anxiety attack and you can't breathe and like that kind of existential crisis. I had one of those. I was in the shower and I was like, what is going on? Like everything was spinning. I couldn't breathe. I had to go on my knees because like everything was like, oh my goodness, what's happening? I forgot the reason, but it had to do something with like the meaning of life or something like that. Something very general and vague, but to me at the time was very specific. And even now, I kind of have those thoughts when I look at all these trillions of people living, and even now that when we're discussing, this is gonna get a little deep and dark. I'm sorry, but just for this real quick, even now when we're talking and discussing, about all these different people, about having families, about giving up your life for your children, I just think to myself like all these individuals, these potential children. Why? Like life, why? Living life, happiness, ? Balance, desire, pleasure, pain, suffering, what's going on? Like I don't know, I just like all these little like boom 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 boom. Yes. One of the things I had recently encountered talked with someone was the idea of suffering in life. And I learned this, I just can't remember how and when. It was recent too, but it was so profound. And I think it was used with an analogy of food. But basically the premise of it was, can you really experience happiness, without, I'm trying to word this where it makes sense. If there's no darkness, would there really be light? Because we can only like conceptualize light because of darkness, because we've been in the darkness. There we go, that's perfect. Yeah. We can only conceptualize light, being in light, because we've been in darkness. So when we're from darkness to light, oh, now we're in light. But if you were always in light, can you really say, oh, now we're in light, yay? No, because you were always in light. So can you really enjoy life, like taste the good fruits of it, if there was no suffering in it? If all there was ever joy, would it really be joy if there was no suffering in it? And I forgot who said it and how they said it, but it was so perfectly worded, and I wish I remember, because they said it way better than I'm saying it right now, I promise you. But it was to enjoy both the sufferings and the happiness, the joy in life, because in reality, in an individual's life, they're both sources of happiness if you let it be. Obviously, people in the suffering won't be able to experience that, and I'm not going to tell them to, like, oh my goodness, yes, you your loved one died. Why aren't you happy?
Yeah.
Right? But the truth is, maybe they died from cancer and unfortunately they didn't beat it, but they're not suffering anymore. So there's happiness in that. Anyways, I don't want to go too detailed because it's very difficult. But I don't know, just suffering and joy. I feel like there's a certain balance that really defines life, but you can't have it one without the other.
Yeah.
I don't want to quote it just to quote it, but there's this is why I loved what was it? What book was it? It was, I can't remember the book was. That's how long I haven't read. I feel bad. But there is a chapter that says in the Bible. I just never forget the specific one because it's just it rings so true in life, in people's life, that there's a time, and it's so cool. There's a time for love, there's a time for anger, there's a time for war, there's a time for peace, there's a time for suffering, there's a time for joy, and it goes on a list. There's a time for this and a time for that, obviously juxtaposing between the two. I love that because it's so true, and that's life. And I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate the sufferings, and as a result they kind of get into this very vicious cycle of, you know what, I'm not even gonna talk about it. But yeah, I almost cried.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I don't know. Christmas is my favorite season. It really is. I don't think it's because Christmas is the season of giving. I can really care less about that. I love giving people things. I just love the weather. I love the weather. I love how dark it gets. I love it. Do you hate it?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it in your eyes.
I just hate it only because like when I get home from work, it's like almost 6:00, so it's already dark.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
So my only thing is like I miss out on sunlight because I'm literally inside the whole day, and so that's my only fear. It's like I want to get, because I enjoy the sun. So I mean, if I had like a job where I would get home like at 5, at least I have like 30 minutes at least to still
bask in the sun.
Yeah, do something. Is it literally like when I'm driving home? When I'm heading home, I'm driving like in the direction of the sun. So I'll literally like put the window down if the sun's out,
Nice.
and like because that's like the only sunlight I'm gonna get for the day, and so that's the only thing that I hate, that I just miss out on that part.
That sounds very depressing.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're a sun child. Never live in Alaska.
Well, but in that case, like it's understandable you're gonna go for so long. Over here, it's like I just get rid of the stupid time change. I don't know if you like it, but I hate it. Just bring me back.
I like it. I like how dark it gets. I'm very big on it.
I don't know what is.
But I don't like. Okay, that's not true. I want to retract. Okay, not true. I do that every time, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. So maybe someone watching it hits. Jim Carrey does that in one of his movies. He'll be like, I forgot what movie it was. He was saying something. I think it was Ace Ventura, and he goes, "Let me retract that." And he goes, "Are you?" Anyways, I don't like that when it's dark.
Okay.
I like when it's cloudy. That I love.
Oh, that
I mean, still there's no sun, so I know you probably hate that too. But it's still light outside. Yeah. But it's cloudy. Yeah. Well, that's I love. No, I don't like darkness. I gotta be honest. I don't like darkness. Yeah. So I misspoke. I love cloudy days.
Yeah. No, I could do cloudy days. That I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like this time changes is the only thing that I'm not cool with. So yeah, I'll get home and then right away I'll turn on like whatever lights are off because I'm like, why is it so dark in here? It's barely 6 p.m. So, and then also it doesn't help me because it makes me more sleepy, like faster.
Yeah.
So especially
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, like on recording days, I have to like push myself to record because I'm like, if I could, I'd just take a nap, and my naps are like hours, not 30 minutes. So really, I'm just going to bed, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well at the point.
Yeah, so I have to like push myself to like go out and do stuff or just be up in general because like the whole thing is just enough for me to be like good night, but I can't do that.
Okay, so jog in the cold or jog in the heat? What do you prefer?
Probably the heat, because jogging in the cold gets me scared because of like your lungs and stuff. And I know like if it's like 60 degrees, it's probably not that bad. No. But in my mind, I'm like, dude, your lungs are, that's it.
Yeah, they're not used to it technically. Yeah, so you're not wrong.
And so the heat, and then also the heat, you sweat, and so you kind of feel like
you did something.
Yeah. I ran. It's more because it's 90 degrees outside, but it's fine. Yeah.
Heat stroke.
Yeah.
I think we're polar opposites.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? I love that we're polar opposites and that we're friends. Right?
Well,
Okay, this is.
Okay. No.
Okay, can I be honest with you?
Okay. Is it gonna hurt my feelings? Is it gonna make me sad?
No, I think it's gonna make you happy.
Okay.
I'm very. I forgot the word. Okay, who cares? When was it? Today? No, I think it was when you asked me. No, it was just randomly.
Okay.
I was thinking, Luis? Like what? Like when did we become friends?
Uh-huh.
I'm very particular with my friends. Very particular.
Yeah.
So I gotta be honest, you were a curveball, Luis. Like I just can't think of the like.
Like was the initial conversation?
Yeah,
like
like
what that?
how I visualize it is that I'm just sitting down and I turn and like, oh hey Luis, we're friends. Like that's how it happened, and that never happens for me. And that's what shocks me, that it never happens. I've never turned and says, hey, oh cool, yeah, cool. And I go, we're just friends, like just like out of nowhere, like and you just appeared at thin air, and like never happens to me. So I was trying to think like I'm friends with Luis, right? Like we're friends, right? Like I'm pretty certain we are, because I feel like we've always been friends, but like I know for sure that's not been the case. Like my whole entire high school, I don't ever remember you.
Yeah, because I wasn't there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was at a different school.
All of junior high, all of high school. I mean, you probably went to church maybe here and there.
Yeah.
And I would see, but like you were like nowhere on my radar. And then I turned to my left, and there you are. I'm like, I like this guy. Like I love hanging out with this guy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, just slid in. Hey.
Yeah. I guess there's people just like that, where you just love being with them, just to be with them.
Thanks.
It's crazy.
Thanks. Oh.
It's crazy for me because that never happens. Like you're literally one, because that's like the first time that's ever happened to me. I've always been very intentional with my friendships.
Not to get sidetracked.
Yes.
Too much.
I love it.
Right, because I do appreciate where you're going.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to point out, you still haven't met all the people you're going to be friends with throughout your lifetime.
True. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm always a little nervous. I am.
New friends?
Yeah. Because sometimes I'm like, what am I, and this is how I know you're my friend. This is the telltale sign that you're my friend.
Okay.
Is that, do I have to put an effort to socialize with you? Okay. That is it. That's honestly it. And because like for me, it's easy to determine it if I have to or not. With people who I know that I don't consider friends, when I hang out with them, I know I have to put effort in by either making conversation, by maybe catching up with them, maybe saying how you're doing or something like that, or maybe kind of forcing myself to have fun a little bit with them if it's just us. But when I don't have to put effort in, when I just am myself and I'm naturally having a good time,
it just flows.
It just flows, and that's how I know we're friends. I mean, that's how I know we're friends.
Yeah.
Because every time I see you, I'm like, Luis, like at Moonbeams, I'm like, Luis, and we start talking about outfits and how this idea of feminine and masculine outfits are such a construct, because back then, very, very rich, high standing people in society, males, wore like very puffy outfits and dresses, very flamboyant, and they were like, whoa, that guy got it. He's got it going on.
Which I want people to know, that pisses me off.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, he told me that too. I love that he said that to me.
I hate how we went from that to like, oh, here's a t-shirt and some jeans and call it a
you
day.
have to wear this.
Yeah. Like, dude, I want to be puffy again.
Yeah.
Like,
I personally wouldn't want to go puffy. I feel like it's much.
No, not puffy. No, but then the other thing that stops me from that is, I was thinking about it the other day, actually. I kind of, because I don't know how the temperature was back then. Right? But if I imagine it to now, if I imagine it to now, I feel like those outfits would definitely be too hot to be wearing.
Ooh, yeah.
You'd be like, I mean, but then for all I know, they could have been sweating back then too, and they just put up with it. Like, this is how I'm gonna dress.
What do they call corsets? Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
A lot of women will pass out.
Yeah.
It's the standards.
Well, that's also because it's basically blocking their airflow because it's tight. So
I'm wearing a corset right now.
Oh.
No.
Speaking of corsets, I did see. I don't remember where it was, like what it was for, but there was some award show, I think, where there was a guy that showed up in a coat, like a suit, or like a blazer or whatever, and he took it off and he was like wearing a corset. And
I'm amazed.
It was like right under, huh?
I'm amazed you fit in that.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure
my belly would have been like.
It stopped like right under his chesticles.
Oh,
And-
oh.
Yeah, it didn't go all the way up. It stopped like right there.
Yeah.
And then, but it was like tight. But yeah, corsets kind of scare me. I feel like you're like the whole time.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I didn't know what you were doing because we never hung out. Even after college, after high school, we never hung out. So I had no idea what you're doing for the first 4 years of high school, and then the next 2 years after. And who's this guy? What is he doing? I honestly thought when I started to get to know you more that you were going to be in some type of design, like fashion design, digital design. I don't know. I honestly thought that's what. Oh, probably because you were actually doing that.
I started doing that in lockdown.
Oh, that was
COVID,
so cool.
yeah. But I mean, that's
It's
also
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It was fun, but I also have like this bad habit of just getting into phases, and I'm like, hey, I want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and so.
Prior to the pandemic, you starting the hobby, had you ever done that before? Or that was first time.
Like clothing?
Yeah,
No, that
like
was first
stitching,
time.
making, whatever.
Yeah, it was
First time.
See, and the thing is, like, I do have moments where I'm like, I want to do this, and I'll set it up,
Mhm.
and then I just don't, and I'll come back. So like the clothing one, I had started. I think it was like 2018-ish, I think, or somewhere around there, was when I got into a moment. Okay, because I was like in business school, right?
Mhm.
So, and like the only reason I went to business school was because I enjoy like entrepreneurship, and so there was this podcast I had listened to that was this guy that interviews like entrepreneurs and how they, like their whole story of how they started, whatever. And then so I went to the side, and then that's when I learned about Gymshark, and then I was like, wait, what is this guy's story? And then that's when he's like, oh, I started at home. I'm like, I can start at home too. And so I was like, and I'm gonna go into gym wear also. So then I went to go buy fabric to make gym clothes, and then I remember getting home. I didn't start on it that day. I think by the third day I was like, I don't want to make gym clothes anymore. So I just left all the fabric there, and then lockdown came, and then I circled back into making clothes. And when I was going to go buy fabric, I was like, wait, why do that if I have like the fabric from like 2 years ago for the gym clothes? But then I screwed that fabric up, so I just dropped it and I went to go buy fabric. But yeah, so I just have a bunch of products that I'm like, hey, I want to do this. Or like, you know what is it? Hydroponics is?
What?
Hydroponics.
No.
It's like farming, but indoor.
Oh.
Like indoor farming, yeah. Like you don't have to use soil, you just use water.
Yeah.
And so that's another one that I was like, oh, that'd be cool to start and do at home. So I remember I texting one of my cousins. I don't know if I was with her or if I was near her, but I remember texting her and being like, hey, do you want to come with me to buy all the supplies? But like, we need to go now, because I know if I don't buy it now, by like next Saturday, I'm not going to want to do it. Like, I really want to do it. So I dragged her with me to the store. I bought a whole bunch of supplies to get started, left it inside my car, never got around to it, never started it. And I think I just threw it out. I think maybe during lockdown, I was like cleaning out some stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably never going to do this. So
I think I've seen that before. Is it the stuff where like a lot of it's like hanging?
There's like variations, but yeah,
and
that's
I've
one of
seen
them.
like weird formations so that the water would like flow.
Yeah.
Those are so cool.
Yeah, so the trick is just that since there's no soil involved, the water goes directly to the roots.
Yeah,
and just gives
that's
it
so
nutrient.
cool.
Yeah, so it's more efficient because you don't have to take up so much space, and then you also grow the stuff faster
Yeah.
because it's just straight. Yeah, but there's variations. There's like one that you can buy for your house, and it's like a whole tube. There's some that they're buying like abandoned buildings, and they're filling it with like shelves.
Oh,
and like they're just all
stacking
indoor.
them. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, and then all you need is like some type of lighting that'll mimic the sun.
Mhm.
And so it's just it's a very controlled environment.
Yeah,
Like
that's
control. Yeah.
I think it'll be very beneficial for the future if people start getting into that kind of habit where they just not only ever eat from the food they grow themselves, but that they make it a habit to grow some food or to kind of house those kind of plants. I think it's a great idea. Save her.
Save her. No, but yeah, so and then the other issue is like if I run into a problem with whatever I'm doing, that'll instantly turn me off. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So like
when you hit a brick wall?
Yeah, I'm like, actually just instead of going around the brick wall, how do I just turn around? Just leave it alone. No, but yeah, so that's what happened with me with the sewing. I had been doing it consistently. And then there was one outfit that I was making. I don't remember what issue. I think I made it too small because for some reason I never understood like the measurement side of clothing. And so I think I had made the outfit too small. And then there's like something else that I was adding to it that in my mind I was like, oh, I know how to do it, but like when it comes down to it, I don't know how to do it. So because those two issues came up, I was like, no, and it just never finished. I stopped making that outfit, and then I just stopped sewing altogether. Yeah, so yeah.
Interesting. Two things. I think first, there was something I saw that for your mind that learning new skills And it doesn't mean mastering, but like
Yeah.
learning new skills, learning how to do things is really helpful for your mind.
Yeah.
So it keeps you healthy. So when you're 90, you're not senile. And the second thing is, I think it's interesting that you say that, the brick wall analogy, because a lot of times you're like, oh, I hit a brick wall, and then people say, well, keep going until you break through it. But then I think to myself, like, because I love how you said I hit a brick wall. It's like, well, instead of going through it, maybe I could just turn around and go the other way. And I thought, well, because maybe that's not the path that you should be going.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see there's another brick wall. Like, what if you hit a brick wall doing this, and then you think, okay, maybe it's something I can see myself doing, and you're like, let me do a little more, and you hit it, and you look in the little hole that you make a little hole out of, and you're like, I like that, and then you boom break through, and you dislocate your shoulder, but then you're fine with it
Because you'll fix it later.
Oh, I just popped my own shoulder. Yeah. But yeah, interesting. I don't think you have to break through brick walls unless you know it's a passion of yours, and don't give up. But sewing, I don't think was like, this is my passion. I would have loved for you to make me something, but
yeah, and that's like another thing. I was like definitely talking it up. I was like, I'm gonna make this for you. I'll make this for you. And I was sending so many people like, I need your measurements. I need to know like, what do you prefer wearing, like shirts or like. And then I was like, I'm gonna do this, and then I would sketch stuff out, and then I never did it. I was just like, oh. And then like some time passed, and some people were like, hey, where's this or that? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Not here. Probably not gonna see it, but thanks for partaking in that moment. That was cool.
What I really admire, and it's quite inspirational, if I might add. I'm very linear. Like I have one passion, and I'll just stick with it. And very few ideas I have will ever branch too far off. If they do branch, it's pretty close to what I'm doing, which is English studies.
Yeah.
So I never have ideas like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and it's like total opposite direction. So I honestly admire and find it very inspirational that there is just some randomness and chaos in these ideas of yours, and that you actually pursue them. However long you do it for, however good you get at it, it doesn't matter. I think that's so admirable that you actually pursue it.
Thank you.
Most people are like, that's a good idea. I put it on my notes, and they'll never touch it again. Like, they won't even buy fabric. The fact that you go and spend money on it, admirable. A little bit financially questionable, but very admirable.
Thank you.
I know it's getting late, but I do want to, I'm curious.
Okay.
Christmas shopping, how's it going for you?
Haven't started.
Oh,
Probably.
no!
I'm probably not gonna start anytime soon. Yeah, no, I'll wait till the end.
To the end?
I think, yeah. I know I need to do it, but and it happened with the podcast too. There was what was I buying for? I think I was gonna buy like I think we were doing a Halloween episode. I was like, I need to buy because we're gonna do like the jelly bean thing. So I need to buy the jelly beans,
right?
And then I need to buy either like a costume or a mask. I literally waited till I think the day before we recorded, which was like maybe like 5 days away from Halloween. So at that point, I just had to get whatever. That's why I got the Batman mask.
Yeah,
because that's all that was left. And like I didn't want to because I was like, it's basic,
yeah.
Right? But I'm like, yeah, but it's also Batman.
It worked, and you did a good voice.
Thank you. But yeah, so same thing for Christmas. I'll probably wait till. I mean, I'm gonna try to not to wait till like the 22nd.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not gonna go this weekend.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah. Who do you buy for? Who do you have to buy for?
Well, really, just like my brother, my parents, and we did like a gift exchange. So I guess for
with
that,
your family, like only one person, whoever you draw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
yeah, I don't have to do like too many. And then I think I have to get friends because there's been some talking about doing gifts, and some are like, I'm thinking about what to get you, and I'm just like, we're getting.
How big is your friend group? Where they have to get one each?
No. It's just like different groups, like different friends, like not entire groups, just like one, like once in a while.
One here, one there.
Yeah, I'll just hear them be like, oh, I'm gonna, and so I'm like, okay, so I gotta keep that in mind because since you're getting me something, I obviously don't want to be like, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
So no, I'm like, okay, I gotta think about what to. So those people too will be on my list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do the same thing. I don't even know how it started, but my friends, Josh Ibrero is one of them. Garrett Nix. I don't know if you know him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. I love the guy. He's great. We play board games like crazy. Like we'll buy a $100 board game that has a 30-40 page rule book, and we'll spend. I'm not kidding you. Ready? We'll spend an hour and a half reading the rules. Not even playing the game. We'll spend an hour and a half learning the rules, and then the next 45 minutes playing the game. And then we're like, okay, we don't have enough time to finish it. We'll play again. I don't know how it started. It started our senior year of high school, but ever since then, unfortunately, Josh moved away. He passed on to Houston. But ever since senior year, every single Christmas year, we have gotten each other gifts. And I don't know how it started, but it's been very fun. Sometimes it's very like we do it for jokes.
Yeah.
Like one Christmas, Garrett got me. He got me like a body pillow of some character. And I'm like, why would you buy me this? I can't keep this in my house. It's not in my house anymore.
Oh, okay.
For reference.
Yeah.
And then one year he got me this super awesome Lord of the Rings chess set. An $80 gift.
Okay.
Beautiful, amazing. It has the figurines, very nice and chiseled. But I love it. It's so much fun. And then I had to buy I bought for everyone already. Yes. But you know what I do?
Hey, again, we're back to the opposites thing.
Yes, we are, dude. It's weird how opposites attract. OMG. Which leads us to our next discussion, significant others. Anyways, what's this thing? Oh, yeah. So I save up money in the beginning of the year, January. I'll give myself maybe $500, $600 in a specific gift savings. And then throughout the year, when I see something I know someone will like, I'll buy it for them.
Yeah.
So that come Christmas time, I'm nearly finished with everything. So that's what I did. So throughout the year, I bought mostly everyone's gifts. So, and I spend a good amount, especially on Sophie. I spent a lot of money on her.
Well, yeah.
Have to.
Yeah, have to.
I get to.
True, get to.
Yep.
True.
It's nice having someone.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We bought matching Crocs. I remember your disdain for that.
Wait for the matching Crocs? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when I was
we had a mouse.
No, I love couples.
What about you?
What about me? Oh, like a special person? No.
No, I think my question. I know no special person. It's Christmas time. The chances are higher. No. Are you kind of in the mindset that you're actively pursuing, or
no,
that you're not pursuing, but that you're available for something to happen, or that you're actively not pursuing?
Actively not pursuing.
Well, okay, I respect that.
Yeah. Still, I think I'm still trying to. I mean, because like I know when you date someone, you're not like tied down, right? You still have like it's good to be your own person and stuff. It's just more of like now you get to do life with somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want that yet. So I want to continue writing life solo, having a couple of friends here, having days where I'm like, I don't want to deal with friends.
Yeah.
I just want to, be me and my dog, stuff like that. So it's just more like, I'm going to do that for a little while longer, and then we'll circle back later and be hey, yeah, maybe it's time to bring someone in. Yeah. So, yeah, we're just chilling.
If you end up celibate, I mean, why not?
You're probably not going to hit that either, but glad to know it's an option. Glad to know it's okay.
Why not?
No, but I mean, eventually I'll bring someone in. But
I'm looking forward to that day.
Huh?
I'm looking forward to that. Okay. It's gonna be fun.
I kind of worry that it's gonna. I fear like I'm gonna get to the point where I've been single for so long that when I do bring someone along, it's just gonna be like, no, you're joking, right? Like you're not actually dating, or you're not actually in a relationship, or it's gonna be the total opposite, where it's like my entire family's celebrating and like finally he's with somebody, and I'm just like, all right.
I mean, I guess it depends on how long you wait.
Yeah, that's why. So,
but that's the only issue outside of there's no rush. Is that I have a whole family, like on my back by now, saying, "Hey, when are you gonna be with someone?" I
definitely like it's definitely out of my mind so much that I don't even have like a timeline of like, I hope to be in a relationship by like 25. By this time. Yeah, mine's just more of like,
that's interesting.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
but I also don't want to be like 35 and be like, please, someone.
Yeah,
I waited too long.
Yeah, it's too late. It's never too late with farmers.com.
That's my last resort. Please, no one else in this planet.
I'm 35. Have my own place. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I respect that. Yeah. When I was younger, I had the same mentality. Not that I was actively not pursuing, but how you just said right now that it just wasn't something that was in my mind. Like it never crossed my mind throughout all of my high school years. When someone pursued me, that's when obviously it triggered. right? When it clicked on, like, oh,
Yeah.
someone likes me. Hey, maybe whatever. But if no one pursued me, if no one showed interest, there was no real like
Yeah.
thought about relationships. I was so busy, in soccer, cross country, basketball, playing board games, playing video games. Like I was just so enveloped with myself, which is not a bad thing. Love yourself, please. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But I just never thought about that. Even now, into my teen years, early 20s, I had never actively pursued someone until my current girlfriend. And it's true. I never pursued someone because I never had the interest.
Yeah.
But with her, that was the first time that I actually had an interest and desire to be with her. So I pursued her. I messaged her and slid in her DMs, as they say. But that was the first time. But I totally get from where you're coming from. Is that it's not there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy, but it's not there. Like, you don't ever think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you'll think about like being with someone, but it's never like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. It's just like, okay, it'll be nice to be with someone eventually. When I'm 35.
39, almost hitting 40. No, but yeah, I mean, like, there's different times where I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to have company. But then at that point, I'm like, nah, I have friends and cousins. I could just be like, hey, you want to come with me to do this or whatever. So then I'm like, yeah, I don't need to be, especially because I think I have more days where I'm like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I mean, there are a couple of days here and there where I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to be in one.
Yeah.
But because I also have days where I'm like, no, I don't want to be in one. It wouldn't be fair to be with someone and then just be like, hey, I know, we went out over the weekend. This week I just feel like writing solo, so we'll talk to you next weekend. Well, we're still together though, but like, give me space for like, it's not fair to do that.
Why don't you find a girl that that's exactly like that, or a significant other that's exactly like that?
I'm gonna be like, no, please.
She or you'll be like, hey, we were together for a weekend, but I'm gonna need a couple of days off. Thank you, Luis. Imagine they'll be like, I found the one.
Yeah, so that's another reason I'm like, no. Once I'm more in the mindset of like, yeah, I want someone around more permanent, then I'll start looking. But right now I'm just like, no, I'm hanging out, chilling. Me and my dog, me and my friends, me and my cousins. Me, So
I like how you hang out with your cousins a lot.
yeah, they're there.
I never really had that opportunity.
We can swap if you want. Sometimes
Your
they
cousins
just,
scare me.
Sometimes they just like get to me. No, I'm just kidding, guys. They're gonna come after me.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
I'm not that social, contrary to belief.
No, but in all reality, I actually do brag on them a lot. Especially with friends. I think sometimes I feel like I know my friends because I'm always like, well, my cousins did this, or my cousins did that, or my cousins this, or my...
Yeah.
Because I'm always just like, and I mean, to my cousins' faces, sometimes I'll be like shady and just be like, leave me alone. But in the background, I'm like, I actually really love those guys.
Yeah. Aww.
Yeah. So they're cool.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
We love those.
But yeah, I think we can wrap up here. Do
Perfect.
you have any final thoughts before we
No.
wrap it with a bow?
I think-
also love the hat, by the way. I forgot to say that earlier.
I thought, hey, it's December
It is December
1st.
1st. Yeah.
So
we're
I thought
recording December
might as well kick
1st.
off the month with
Some good
Christmas.
Yeah. Dang it, I should have thought about that. Well, it's fine. I'll make it up later.
yeah.
I'm glad you did
Next
at
podcast.
least. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you have nothing else to say, then we're good to go. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch the show on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify. I think we're on Google, like Google Podcasts. I don't know. On TikTok, on Instagram. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Luis_. It's _ Luis Olvera_. And I think that's the only social I have. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you all next week's episode.